Hello guys. Damn camera. You can wake up now. I also need to show the right thing here. Schmite. There we go. Scotty, huh? That's kind of boring, to be honest. What's even good against Scotty? Hey Benji, good to see you, man. I feel like nothing is particularly good against Scotty. Scotty's just, she's one of the gods that's also kind of dominates duel. I did the Q in this, looking at Nika's stream, so I imagine that's going to be an Apollo, a bitch, Apollo somewhere. I guess it could be Scotty mid and Apollo DC, but... Oh, well now I don't know. Anubis could also just be Viv. What the hell, man? What is a man supposed to pick here? I don't know, on her is probably just the way to go, to be honest. I'm gonna need some extra CC immunity against that team comp. Dude, I despise their team comp already. That is such an annoying team comp. If they fall behind... Oh my god. They don't have a frontline, really. Is it gonna be Anubis support then? Poseidon ADC? Apollo jungle, Fenrir solo, Scotty mid? That's my guess. I'm really tired today. I overslept so heavily that I'm just overtired. I still really haven't felt like I've woken up. Not completely. Oh. I guess we got baby gamed? Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, great to start with ADC. That's fantastic. I mean, it definitely does wake me up, but usually I feel like I'm awake by the time it's too late. Like, whoops, we lost. Oh, well. I kind of want Death Toll here, I think. And I definitely want Crimson, so I can get the extra little shield. Oh.
Have fun.
Hmm. Stop. Poseidon, huh? Well, we're definitely not out clearing in the beginning.
Be careful left.
Yes. Your middle tower is under attack.
He has beats as well, so I imagine he's gonna just go full damage. Ah, man. If I was just a little bit faster, I would have hit that.
Wow! He must have shotgun on the meat bomb. Enemy spotted. Be careful, right. Your middle tower is under attack. Sorry. Enemy missing middle. Careful.
You owe me, dude. Attack.
No impel yet.
Your middle tower is under
Follow me. Enemy missing middle.
And now song requests should work. They should. It worked yesterday on the stream. If it doesn't fucking work again, I don't fucking know what to do then. Well, I should know how to make it work now though, but
Attack.
I'm not 5.
Set up an ambush here.
Beware the shifting
Okay.
side. Do you say today? Mamma mia, not again! An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Okay.
When she said attack, I wasn't 5 yet. I needed a creep.
Don't do that again.
Your left tower.
On my way.
Bonk. Here, I want the creeps. I should just wake up for the creeps. I would have been so down to attack instantly, but I don't know why I was a creep behind. That's so annoying. Because I got confused when they hit 5, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not 5 yet. But apparently, Yemoja was also 5. Because she obviously ulted them, but I wasn't 5 at the time. And I'm sad I didn't get Poseidon, but this skating ice. I played this really sloppy. I think we should have won the exchanges so far, but I'm playing it really bad. It also doesn't help that I'm stuck constantly in whirlpools and ice skating.
Ally has been slain. Okay. You think that you're gonna just pass away like that? Shifting side.
Water's halo.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Completed.
Is it fucking Scotty support? Like, which one is support? It's not Scotty, she's just the tankiest one, because damn thing.
Enemies incoming. Your left tower is under attack. Mwah! Compliment to the chef. Mwah! Compliment to the chef.
Attack! Gank!
Need healing.
Attack!
Sands. An enemy has been slain.
Completed.
Shotgun on the meatball.
Thanks.
I will not be killed so easily.
Fenrir might be coming. I'm backing.
More fury for my spear.
Alright. Now I have actual lifesteal. I can stick around a bit more. I also wasted my ult. Though it was mostly used as like a CC immunity thing to get out of the whirlpool in time. Than a damage thing.
Tower is under attack. I dare you to sneak up on me.
It's damn cheap viewers.
Careful left.
On my way.
Your right tower is under attack. Enemy spotted. Your middle
On
tower
my way.
is under attack. Enemy spotted.
Gank right lane.
Be
careful.
An enemy has been slain. Enemy ultimate down.
Dude, I'm level 7, man.
Enemy
Who's level... Fenrir is level 10, dude.
Your left tower is under attack. Enemies in left lane. Your left tower has been destroyed. Enemy ultimate down. Okay, so
Okay.
maybe a little salt did hurt someone.
Gank!
Please get him for this. We can't let him keep jumping into towers and shit.
Basta, huh? Ally has been slain.
Yeah. This seems like it's kind of over already. We can't deal with the Bib right now. Bib is just dominating.
Yes.
Gank! Enemy spotted!
An enemy has been slain. They should fear me now.
For now, I'll just farm. I actually don't know if there isn't like an ADC build again. I kind of forgot if there is.
Shut down.
Also doesn't really matter. They always come mid-boss fight. They do have timing.
Triple kill.
You owe me, dude.
You are fabulous. Mwah! Compliments to the chef. Okay.
Be careful!
Attack.
Okay. Be careful!
Enemy missing. Mamma mia! Not again. That's too bad.
Completed!
Beware the shifting sands.
Honestly, probably shouldn't be fighting Skadi yet. If I want to fight Skadi, I have to make sure that I have enough auto power to really do so. Damn it. Because right now I don't think I can. She's way too tanky for me to box her, and her abilities will do more damage than anything I can put out. Unless I get the perfect impale into ult, I can't fight her.
Your right tower is under attack. Enemy spotted.
Okay. On my way. Ultimate is ready.
Your middle tower is under attack. Enemy spotted. Beware.
Damn it. I missed everything.
You rock.
Okay.
Mamma mia, not again! Your middle tower is under attack. Your right tower is under attack.
Don't do that again. Retreat.
Retreat! Enemy ultimate incoming.
Ultimate is down.
You owe me, dude.
Enemies of the Gold Fury. That's too bad. More fury for
We need some wards, man.
your team has destroyed the enemy tower.
Hey, we got a tier 1 at least for gold. I'll just take that trade for now.
The enemy
I've died enough. I need to just keep farming. I'm already 2 levels behind Skadi.
Sorry, mate.
the hunter has become
my way.
the hunted.
On my way.
An enemy
The
has been
supposed
slain.
Poseidon support is higher level than me.
Attack middle lane.
Beware the shifting sand. Wow! He must have choken on the meatball. Enemy missing lift. An ally has been slain.
Do you get double lifesteal Crimson Claws? I don't think so, no. Not really. I don't think it's the main build, at least. I just don't think double lifesteal is really necessary.
An enemy has been slain.
Easy mode.
I probably need to run crit this game, though, because they they have a lot of damage dealers. I don't think they're going to have an actual tank in this game. Poseidon is building a better defense. Mystical Mail is interesting on Poseidon, though. Not my first choice if I had to go for a mage. At least Poseidon. It feels a bit counterproductive, honestly, because you don't want to get close. So yeah, my point being, crit is quite valuable here. There's not going to be a whole lot of defense. I'm getting the wave. I'm dead.
Mama will not be back. Wow! Enemy must have choken on the meatball. You think you can just pass away like that?
Oh, did he just catch his dash? Oh, okay. Probably still. Oh,
An enemy has
alright, good
been
job.
slain.
Yeah, I'm glad the other lane is winning right now, because Fenrir has put me so far behind. As well as just the early laning we've had.
You owe me, dude.
I'm truly trying to farm, but it's fucking hard.
Enemy spotted. I'll attack left lane.
On my way.
Beware the shifting sands.
Attack.
Be careful.
Ultimate is ready.
Enemy team has destroyed the pyramid.
Look at his shield.
Beware the shifting sands. Your team has destroyed a middle enemy tower. Our foes cower.
Attack the
Your
gold
team
steering.
has destroyed a left enemy tower. I dare you
On my way.
beware the shifting side.
Attack left lane.
On my way. Gank.
Attack!
Water's halo.
An enemy has been slain.
I don't like this chase we went on. That feels silly instead of just doing gold. I just feel like every time a fight breaks out, I pay the price. Like now I'm just here, dead again. When I finally had a chance to farm. Aw, that sucks.
Compliments to the chef.
Okay.
An enemy has been slain.
Beware.
My radiance.
Sorry, man. Need healing.
Nice. Clean.
Sorry, mate.
Your right tower is under attack.
Be careful, right.
Completed.
Okay.
On my way.
Behind us. Be
Retreat
careful.
right lane. I'll attack middle lane.
Careful, right. Beware the shifting sands. Spotted.
Attack.
That's a lot of party and joke. I'm on it.
Woo!
Two meatballs
You
is
owe me
better than
two.
one.
Behind us.
An ally has been
Don't
slain.
do that again.
Enemy ultimate down.
See if I can yoink this tier 2. Might not be able to. Minions are gonna die.
Mamma mia, not again! Your team has destroyed a left enemy tower. Beware the shifting sands. Wow!
Easy mode.
Choker on the meatball. Enemy ultimate down.
Well, didn't expect that. I also missed my impale like an idiot. I definitely need some kind of attack speed here. And I don't think dominance really is the way to go. I don't need all that pen. Though I guess it's still nice. I'm kind of tempted to go for Griffin Wing. That's great. I'll just do dominance.
Ultimate is ready.
I already regret picking dominance. I should just gone for straight attack speed.
Enemy spotted. Be careful left. Set up an ambush.
I mean, actually, on that assy conversation, if anything, it might be good now, like in this game, because I think one of the big problems with like heavy lifesteal is if you don't do enough damage to carries, or to tanks rather, and you just don't lifesteal off of them at all.
You owe me two.
Attack right tower.
In this game, they don't really have it frontline, so...
Okay.
But I am getting carried to the highest order in this one so far. I'm doing a decent job split pushing, I guess.
Get right lane. Ultimate is ready.
Ultimate is down.
But it's also very easy to split push when you're not against someone in lane. Skadi just decided to rotate at one point, when she could probably just be killing me in cooldown.
Your team has destroyed a middle enemy tower.
Attack.
No one is
Don't do that again.
sad. Or the streets fresh and juicy.
Yeah, I had no idea what just hit me, and then I realized it was the Anubis skin. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Completed. Retreat.
I got a kill though, I'm on the board. Truly worked hard for that one. I can't feel myself slowly waking up though. My eyes are just heavy today. My eyes are so heavy today.
Attack the gold fury. On my way.
Tired.
Enemy ultimate down. An enemy has been slain.
Why would you press any actives if you could not, you know? Nice. Got pushed out of the way. Dude, I just decided not to press any actives in that scenario. I don't know what was fuck, man. I don't know what the fuck. What time do you wake up? What time did I wake up? Like at 1? Probably a bit past. Or was it even that? It's about 1. It was way too fucking late. It was not good.
An enemy has been slain. You got skills.
I'll attack the fire giant.
Be right back.
I'm not going in first anymore.
On my way.
On my way.
You hit him with that
You
secret
got
sauce.
skills.
Alright, finally. Something.
Attack.
On my way. Enemies incoming.
The red knock up right on me.
Enemy spotted. Easy mode. Gank. Set up an ambush here.
On my
Follow me.
way. I'll attack. Attack middle lane.
No, he's running away from us.
Follow me.
You think that you can just pass down? Mwah! Compliments to the chef. 2 meatballs. Better than 1.
Attack left lane.
Did he attach your spaghetti?
You got
That
skills.
was a salty anchovy.
Good game.
Attack the titan.
Get this just in case Anubis wipes us.
Good game.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy phoenix. Beware the shifting sands. It is time for the main course.
Good game.
Yeah, I got carried this one. It was a bit better once I felt like I had enough items, but honestly, I feel like in this game, I should have just smacked attack speed. Yeah, GG Kami, you pretty much carried me in this one. Like you like mid and I mean like everyone but me really. Yeah, everyone played really well in this one. I was put so far behind, I wasn't really sure what to do during the laning phase. Fenrir focused a bit, and our laning just wasn't really able to outclear the Poseidon Skadi duo lane, man. Nice. At least you can't look here, guys. You cannot look in this area. You have to look down here. Look at my structure damage. Don't look at my, my player damage. I was definitely a part of this game. I did the least in the whole game. I don't think I've ever done that as an ADC. Yeah, I'm down, Kami. I'm open to play, especially in the tournaments just happening. Like in the weekend would be nice. I'll be super happy to play. Like I've been in most of the tournaments. It's my two so far. Have I been in all of them? I might have been in all of them actually, with just like random teams and having fun with it. Like last time it was the best team that I've had so far. I was with Jack, like just Jack and like Tush and those guys. We unfortunately met the winning team in our first round. What's my Discord? Let me private message you for that. Yeah, I can add you instead. That also works. Alright, I send it now. We'll see if it's the correct one. Like, you don't need all the weird numbers anymore, do you, on Discord? That's alright. Perfect. I'll measure later. Alright. Just don't put me in ADC. Unless you want to kill structures, then I'm there. No. Solo is probably still the main thing. Recently, I feel like I've actually been enjoying mid. I'm enjoying mid way more than ADC now. Which is why I am queuing as solo and mid these days. For some reason, I just fell out of love with ADC recently. I've been saying it's because of the meta, but it might not be. For all I know, I just might not like it much anymore. Times change. Bro, who is this? Who is Getty Go? Yes. I definitely said that right. Benji, or someone else who wants to do a song request, can you just check to make sure that works? I can test, but it might just work for me, specifically. So, just in case, I want to make sure that it actually works. I can also just do it myself to make sure At least it works for myself. Yeah, okay. So it works for me at least. Hopefully it works for other people as well. Oh no, Cerberus got through. I probably have to deal with that asshole, don't I? Well, I know exactly what to do then. Bake Kujira as well? Damn. Okay. Well, there goes the pick I kind of wanted. Oof. That's okay, I guess. Like, it could just be boring and pull out Chuck, but... no, I need to play something else. Okay. Definitely need some more magic.
Pick your god.
Uh... Strange. I'll grab Xing Chen for this. Not great clear, no matter what I go against Cerberus or Baki Kujira. I'm probably going to lose the clear either way. Sobek would have been the main go-to, but even, like, Sobek is going to lose the clear for the most part as well. Or even if he doesn't, he just doesn't do as much damage as the other two. But Xing Chen has some decent turn in case they want to be aggressive. So I can maybe pull them into tower and stuff like that. And I haven't actually tried Xing Chen with Curse Weaver. I guess probably good, as Curse Weaver just is, but... Sky on Cerberus. Clear is gone, man. The real question is this a Thorns game? Like, probably not.
They call for our protection.
Yeah, I probably need TP for this, man. But I'm gonna big bolt it. Big bolts it. I'm gonna big bolt it. I have the HP. I can't speak today either. Today is shaping up to be great. I have the HP 5 from my passive to make up for the lack of potions as well with this build. So, assuming I can keep up my passive.
Remember to enjoy the battle. Yes.
I'm skipping. It was... Wait a minute.
Fire and into the frying pan. Double kill.
You are so strong.
He must have choked on the An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
No! I lost the XP for that! Tragic. Okay. Didn't know he was there. I literally just jumped.
Choked on the meatball.
Nice.
Enemy has been slain.
Oh, way to go!
Gonna see if I can yoink this real fast.
We see all the enemies of the forest. Take out cover! You think too much.
Mamma mia, not again.
This fucking god, man.
You just got served.
That fucking god.
Nice try.
Just immuned my thorns by going inside me. I should have just gotten out. I thought we could kill, but Never mind. Maman just being Maman. I need Genjis for this, I guess. Double magical. They have 4 magical, I just realized.
We are the eyes of the forest. Amazing.
Damn. Did not expect a set. That would not have been a bad fight.
We see no one in our forest. Enemy ultimate down.
Okay, soft. Maybe a little soft.
Aww. Oh, good shit.
I'll put you down. Compliments to the chef. Enemies in right lane. Right tower under attack.
Forest is no place for the likes of you. Yeah. You are a true friend of the forest.
An enemy has been slain.
We live in a time of uncertainty.
This isn't going too well for me in this game either, but that was alright. Being able to ult and get his B, or his ult I guess, for free there was probably the reason why we ended up surviving. Yeah, he's gonna have so much fun against Bip, dude. I hate playing against Bip. But that also shows how talented Bip can be at just focusing one target and be unstoppable at doing it. It's so hard to deal with him when he gets going. Even less fun when he plays stuff like Bakasura that just generally shits on tanks. Well, whatever. That's the worst way I've ever tried to clear a wave. I mispressed my one, missed pretty much the whole wave, except for like 2 creeps. Followed up by a...
On my way.
I'm not used to being as squishy when I tank towers this early. So when the tower hit me, I didn't, for some reason, just didn't expect the amount of damage that came out of that.
We'll make it work.
I'm definitely not gonna go breastplate. I think I'll go for something else here, physical-wise. Like potentially even a mystical mail, just to help me clear stuff. And then go into a Pridwin, because I think Pridwin is kind of nice on Xingqian. I should probably level my 1 here. Or my 3, rather. Over my 2. I do feel bad for Sky. Like, no one deserves this.
No one in our forest.
An enemy has been slain.
I can't back for Blink, which would be kind of sweet.
But my fights only ever go once.
That was a sortie anchovy. An enemy has been slain.
Am I completely... Where did he go? What? I looked away for a second and he was just gone. I guess he must have backed when I was get distracted looking at chat. Huh. Well, whatever I'm buying, I should be able to just buy it straight up, so... I think I'll do Mystical Mail. What? No way. That should have hit me, man. I don't know, I could honestly just say hell no to Pridwin as well. It might actually not be that good on Xingqian.
An enemy has been slain. Okay, stop. Maybe a little soft did hurt some.
Missed. Xingqian's 1 has a weird projectile. It's kind of weird to land sometimes, because it travels incredibly slow. Alright, blink time. I'll just do this first. Fuck it. I'll get Pridwin first. I need the cooldown. I'm feeling it already. I feel slow as heck. Oh, he's dead.
Ally has been slain.
And also, I don't. They still don't have one physical, so I obviously do need something. But yeah. Are they just on gold? They might be on gold. We can't really do anything about it. Maman is level 18. Get the whale. Got any blockers? Oops. I'm not sure the song I queued ever actually showed up. I've been too distracted. Oh yeah, who ye hurts. 160 with just one non-normal auto. Time to get some physical defense. He's gonna crit. Not really. He's got a little bit. Not sure it's worth going spectral for it though. Man, I want. I should have just gone mystical, so I can clear something. Shang-Chi's clear is so ass. How some people decide to pick him for jungle, I will never understand. Popping early thorns and let it explode while you're still having like throwing them around. I lost my train of thought. We got 17 seconds. Probably can. Oh. I have so much gold. I'm grabbing this. I have ideas. Let's also grab this. Yeah, see, this is a build we can talk about. I'm doing this first, though. Look at that. What a beautiful build. I think more damage is a good choice. But actually, I also decided, with these two, at least I get enough physical protection to not be just completely naked.
An enemy has been slain. Wow, you must have choking on the meatball.
Oh, yes, blink. Can we just end soon? A for effort.
We are the eyes of the forest.
I'll actually grab that.
Buon appetito! Nice job. An enemy has been slain.
Almost ran back into that.
Retreat!
Man, interrupt it. Whenever Sobek is around, and I see his plugs, they aren't great. They just look funny. This isn't working out, team. We're kind of just screwing up here. No! Oh, man! They just interrupted me 3 times. Sad. Suler's playing very well too. Damn. Wrecked by thorns. They also really don't have a good combo dealing with Bakasura outside of Maman, I think. Maybe, I mean, I guess Asset can as well, but Asset is not having a good game. Xing is definitely not OP, yeah. It's just we're winning really hard. And they don't have a good combat dealing with Xing Chen. Not to mention Curse Weaver. Anything is kind of OP with Curse Weaver. That's why the Guardians are the best at the moment. It's literally just that. It's because they can build Curse Weaver and Warriors can't. It's that simple. Yeah, Curse Weaver is disgustingly broken. It literally heals you as much as a full ability would, or even more these days, as well as dealing as much damage as a full ability would. We do need to start grouping and actually ending the game, because it's getting a bit silly. We're actually just letting them farm. A set was 16, while we still had about the same amount of phoenixes down.
We see all the enemies of the forest. Together, brothers!
Okay, so maybe a little soft in her tongue.
Dude, we gotta actually end this fucking game. I don't want to end up losing this. We've had 10 times to end. Upgrade this fully. Grab that. Like, Right Phoenix is back up. They have to defend it now. And hit 2 goals. Good to see you. Didn't see you in between the messages. Oh my god, dude, this C's actually CC to death. Who completely destroyed me? Who you did. Alright, fine. Fine. I give up. I guess we'll just build something against Huyi then. Does he have crit? He does have crit now. Spectral it is. Alright. Still got 3 people alive. I also never got my blink off. Or even thorns, I guess. Maybe I got thorns off, but... No, I actually didn't. I just died in this Yeah, I just got CC chained. Don't die, team! Don't die.
Enemy ultimate down!
push this up. Ruler needs to stop getting picked. Hopefully he's fine. We need to just group. Yeah, I think it's good. No. I wasn't really a big part of that fight. I was just zoning Hui, but I guess that might be good enough at this point. It's safe to say that the reason why this game went as well for me as it did was because of Bib camping my opponent. Because Xing Chen against Cerberus is very much a stalemate matchup. I picked the Xing Chen to simply just stay back and be there for team fighting in late game. I should never have been in the position to have pressure in that lane. But Bakasur pretty much gave me that. There's also the fact that their Asset was kind of just dying on cooldown, I guess. Damn. Damn, I didn't do a whole lot of damage, all things considered. Ouch. He had so many wards too. He's the only one who really warded on their team. I'm so bored of warriors for some reason. Maybe it's just because they don't feel good right now if you meet a guardian. They feel so bad if you meet a guardian with Curse Weaver. Which you do a lot of the time. Alright. Definitely got baby gamed. Again. If I'm top pick, it's not looking too good. Because I'm only 2600 after losing a bunch. So. Still though, I recognize most of the people in here, so. At least it should mean I'm not against Bib. It's gonna camp me and kill me all over and over again. Might be against Sky though.
Select your god.
I forgot to see if we were first pick.
Pick your god.
We were first pick. Oof. What am I thinking about, man? I don't know. Something that probably wins most matchups, though. Probably so big. I'll do whale. I played a lot of so big lately. I'll swap it out. Grab a whale. It's crazy how Medusa is still just at the top, even after the nerfs. I wasn't fast enough. I want to ask the support if you want a Bake instead, because then I could pick a mage for solo. I'll just be so down to pick a mage for this game. I've been feeling some raw solo lately, but that's just because I want to play raw. Raw solo is not good, especially right now. If you meet something like a Cerberus, like I guess Whale, Cthulhu, anything like that will completely destroy raw. Like even Sobek, like shit like that. Like almost like most of the Guardians running a Curse Weaver will fuck up raw, and you can't do anything about it. That being said, running a raw with a somewhat tanky build could be kind of fun with Curse Weaver. It's probably not going to be that good, because Ra's biggest strength is how powerful he can be if he gets a good snipe off. Is that an Uller solo? Kind of nasty meeting ADCs in solo, but alright. Kind of wish I had Archeo, to be honest, into that Uller. Could have tried to swap, but it is what it is. I don't think Bake is particularly good against Uller. He's gonna get away so easily every time. Got multiple ways of doing it too. Could also be Raijin solo though. But nah, I'm thinking it's definitely Artemis mid. Because Livon likes playing Artemis.
Atrocities that have been committed. There must be a reckoning. I will be that reckoning.
I don't know what I'm against, which is really annoying. Because then I don't know what to build. If I'm against an ADC or something like that, I want to build protection first. Because I'll have clear no matter what. I just don't want to take too much damage while clearing. I'm taking the chance. I'm going for breastplate. Never mind. I'll simply just run TP instead. And play it safe. Actually, this should be fine. Because I can have an extra potion because of a Gilded Arrow being cheaper. It fits. Hey Cosmic, good to see you. Yes, Roger. Glad I didn't do the protection way then.
Out of the fire and into the frying pan. Do it.
Oof. Damn tower. Do I dash for baiting here? No. I dashed for baiting to a certain extent, then Susano dipped, but they killed Artemis in mid. I'll take the trade. But still. Not that I think we could have done anything with him being around anyway. I think they would have killed me for free, and then Susano wouldn't have been able to really stop them from doing it. I gotta be careful against Raijin. He's got some good poke options that I can't deal with very soon until I get some protection. Well, if Danza's coming, I'm out. Damn, didn't know Danza was around as well. Well, no, he was somewhere, just not exactly right there. That's unfortunate. It's Danza jungle. Thought it was mid for some reason. Would make sense, Artemis is mid. My blue buff, no! Man, I didn't get there just in time, man. So close. I'm playing way too stupid now. I'm glad I saved my TP at least. Aw, get him! That sucks. Unfortunate all around. Yeah, I should not be losing to Raijin right now. I'm playing too risky. Game is very quiet compared to music. Okay, I'll turn it up. Give me a second. But thank you for telling me, student. Otherwise, it's hard to fix it. Turning that down a bit. Game capture can go up a bit. Alright, how is it now? Well, I guess I can wait until I actually clear something here. How's it sounding? Good? Alright, perfect. Dude! Why is this still here? Use your fucking traps, Artemis. What? I lost the creep. Yeah, I'm so far behind after those 2 deaths now. Not fucking worth. He actually has 2 levels on me.
An enemy has been slain.
That's the wrong thing. I need to stop dying. I'm just positioning myself really stupid instead of just farming. Damn, level 9. It's not looking good for the whale here.
On the meatball. Two meatballs is better than one. That was a salty anchovy.
Also, I'm very unfortunate we haven't gotten the green tiki yet. I could kind of use that. Fucking Raijin has no cooldowns if you get early CDR on him. It's insane how fast his 2 is. How fast it comes up. Now I should be in a bit of a better spot here.
An enemy has been slain. Nice job.
Oh, he's still dead. I'll push the way first.
Okay, so maybe a little. You must have choker on the meatball.
Dude, of course the green was the last one. Give me the green tiki, man. No wonder Raijin has such low or high cooldown already. He's probably only using that fucking tiki. Which makes sense.
An enemy has been slain.
Ah, it's back.
Mamma mia, not again.
I'll probably grab an early pred one, I think. Actually, I probably shouldn't have. I'm not sure pred one is that good here. Ooh, Uller is level 9? Holy shit. Dude, the difference in levels on the ADCs in this game. That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that rough over there.
Okay. Attack fire jump. Enemy spotted.
I don't actually know if Raijin is considered good into Bake. It definitely feels like he could be. Because he can close the distance very, very, very easily. Or I guess... not close the distance, but like... remove the distance between us. Get out of my ult super easily. Yeah, I'm not tanky enough against him. He does so much damage to me. I'll definitely do mid Guardian because they have 3 fucking ADCs this game. I do need to start getting some physical. Raijin won't even be a big problem going into late game. This Curse Weaver as well. Fuck me. I really do wish that I had RTO this game, but they probably wouldn't have smacked them as easily over there if they had Baki instead of RTO. It's a tough Baki game.
Don't come back again! Two meatballs is better than one. And the less assumption. That's not bad.
We'll hang over them for generations. You can hear the ocean.
I've realized throughout that my last few Baki games that I don't really like playing Baki anymore. He's so slow. I think that's my issue. Like when you play Sobek, you might have long cooldowns, but he doesn't feel slow. Baki just feels so slow.
Your last tower is under attack. On my way. Save yourself. Wow! You must have choking on the meatball. Your team has destroyed a middle enemy tower. Enemy missing right.
Like I'd rather play Raijin. Raijin is actually pretty fun solo.
Raising.
Attack fire giant.
He definitely hurts.
That was close.
I can't not be tanking it anymore.
Agony heightens them to feel
Dude, the Aaron died bug? Fuck me, dude. I'm just perma Aaron died it now because of the dancing glitch.
Enemies in left lane. Attack! Fire giant!
I forgot what the exact interaction is, but Aaron died glitch is something to do with Dancer. Oops.
Attack fire giant!
Attack fire giant. Attack fire giant.
I'll defend!
Slowly but surely.
And sometimes it works by just dying. Sometimes it doesn't. But I am perma Aaron died it.
You think that you're gonna just pass down? Missing left! Retreat!
Yeah, that just sucks. It's such a weird bug, and I can't believe they haven't fixed it yet. How do you even spell Aaron died? Aaron died. Oh, I see. It's an HT situation.
Place a ward for teleport!
We don't have any words. This gets me back in Smite after some weeks away. That's good to hear. It is a fun game. It's just sometimes, you know, it isn't. I've luckily not Aaron died it anymore.
Attack the goal.
Dude, I am not allowed to move. That was a no fun allowed combo. Holy shit. Taunt into constant fear, into constant taunt, into constant fear. My god. these boys. Oh, he's dead. Dude, what they've been building as their team comp. Like, one of them's gotta have crit, right? They don't. I guess I'll go Contagion instead. They do have pretty high CC, so Contagion might be decent. Hyde, you're actually right. Hyde could be good. It's generally pretty shit, but you're right. Mostly they're ability based though.
An enemy has been slain. Two meatballs is better than one.
Devour you at the end of this war. Attack fire.
Dude, I'm perma-Aaron died again.
Yes. Attack fire giant.
You're kidding me, Hi-Res. How has it not been fixed yet? It happened twice. Come on. At this point, I have to imagine. I don't know who Zero is, so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but if he could be trying to proc this on purpose, he could. For all I know, he could.
Going up.
Can't believe this has happened twice now. It's no problem, guys. I got this. Can we just have our ADC just kill that instead of jumping in? That'd be cool. Oh, Erendite went away. Maybe it wasn't perma Erendite, it just lasts for a really long time? Yeah, I'm selling this. Let me try Hide. Let's see how it goes. Actually, wait, no.
They have shown their cowardice already.
Only one of them is... Dude, they're all basically ability based. I actually don't want to do that then. Yeah, cancel that. I'll just keep going Contagion. It's not really gonna have any value. Will it hit? They'll definitely be hitting me with autos, but the majority of their damage comes from abilities. Besides from, I think, Danza. He will still be hitting me a lot, but Artemis and Ola will be full ability based.
Raising.
Slowly but surely attack left.
Also, a friendly reminder to feel free to do song requests if you want to hear a different song.
Attack left lane.
Look at the traps! Dude, where is Jingwei?
This is overcooked.
I don't actually know how both Susano and Archeo died.
Mamma mia, not again. Group up.
Tribute.
At least we got mid Phoenix, but I have no idea what happened and left. They need to defend right, otherwise they lose right Phoenix in a second. Artemis will be defending now. At least that means they can't end.
An enemy has been slain. You think you can just pass down?
Why am I here?
Your left Phoenix is under attack.
You can hear the ocean, and it can hear you.
Oh my fucking god.
Right lane.
Ally has been slain.
Their weak flesh will meet my spirit.
I think we can get it. Even without me.
Return to base.
Okay.
Can't really buy anything, I guess. I think if we deal with Danza and Artemis, I think we're good.
Left lane.
But yeah, I guess on the subject of hide, I feel like if you want to make use of hide, you need it to be against at least 2 physical, like auto attack speed ADCs. Otherwise, it just don't feel like it's worth it. Dude, no one's attacking these phoenixes. Jingwei is just trying to go for kills. I'll be the ADC. Oops. Like, he's playing really well, but no one's attacking the objective. I'll do it. Oh, Danzo was split pushing too. Didn't even realize. Why would he split push though? Huh. Strange timing. I think hide was actually okay before. No one really used it anyway, but they nerfed it from 15 to 12.5. Is it a gigantic difference? No, not really. But won a streak today? So far, yeah. Only wins today. I feel like I've been playing like shit today though. So I don't feel like it's because of me. Which is kind of funny, because I think for the most part, in my streams, in my games off stream, I had so many good off stream games. Like this Osiris game, most of them are actually kind of done now. Because a lot of these are just on stream. But like I had such good, insanely good. I played Gep, man. I played Gep solo, and I fucking destroyed in that game. I had so many good games off stream, and this used to be a thing for me. I play much better off stream than I do on stream. But that's probably partly because I'm easily distracted. And sometimes I'll just die because I looked over at chat out to see if something's new, or there's just more stuff happening in my head when I'm streaming. I get overwhelmed, and then I miss something that happens, and that leads to a death or something stupid like that. So. Yeah, yesterday I talked about trying Geps. It wasn't so much about trying it, it was just playing for fun. I was in a big boy game at the time. I decided, fuck it. We needed some kind of Guardian. Like, all the good Guardians was pretty much banned that game. I was like, fuck it, I'll do Gep then. Because Gep is super fun solo, he's just not that great. But then I made a Chuck, and somehow I killed him 3 times. And it wasn't even because like Chuck was bad in any way. That's just because Curse Weaver is that good. It essentially gives you an extra ability as well as sustain. It gives you a fucking heal that you shouldn't have. Though the first kill I got on him was before I even had Curse Weaver online. The first kill I did on him was just an outplay. Next 2 was pretty much just because of Curse Weaver being stupid. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I might play some Gip solo. Right now, I'm just kind of, like, I'm done trying to win. Well, I'm trying to win, but I'm done super try-hard picking. Unless I actually want to pick the god. Like, Cerberus, I'm down to play always, because I love playing Cerberus. He's arguably my favorite guardian to play these days. He's so much fun. I also really love Sobek, which is why I started playing him, but he's kind of turned out to be quite good right now. So he's kind of a try-hard pick in a sense. Cerberus definitely is a try-hard pick, but I'll play him anyway. I don't care much for Kumba. I don't really care if he's there. Cthulhu I'm just tired of, so I tend to just ban him, because he's also very powerful to deal with. Mainly for team fighting. He's not that bad to lane against. He's fine. But he's way too much of a team fight monster for me to want to deal with him. Yeah, who cares when it's over? Just have fun without trolling too hard. Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of the mindset I'm going with too. I want to have fun. But that's also why I haven't picked Ra. Because I feel like Ra is borderline trolling, because he's so bad in solo right now. If I get mid, I'll pick Ra. Like 100%. I'll grab Ra. But Ra isn't like Raijin. I feel like Raijin is a mage at the moment you can make work in solo, because he's got great escapability. His ultimate is incredibly safe for... I was like, it's a good defensive ability. Because you can fear people away from you, you can taunt them to you. Like, with that, he can also kind of initiate. So if you build him kind of tanky, you can make that work. Overall, I think he's kind of nice to play in solo. He also kind of has decent matchups against a lot of things in solo. But I think most mages just don't work in solo right now. Hell is going to get destroyed, even though she's going to have early pressure. Shang Kui is almost kind of the same thing. He's a bit iffy on who's going to get pressure, but Shang Kui is probably still one of the easier ones to make work, because he is naturally tanky. Anubis is fine. Like, he's really good against some matchups like Yorm. He kind of shits on Yorm, because Yorm is so stationary. It's very easy to land your 2 on him, as well as just ulting him. If you ever land your 2 on Yorm and he doesn't have beats, he's pretty much dead, and you have your ult up. The main problem with Anubis is if you meet something that can easily close the distance between you, Like, he's gonna struggle heavily against someone like Searcher, who's just gonna run you down. He's gonna throw a ranged stun at you and lock you down, do a bunch of damage. I think Searcher is a bit of a 50-50 one though, because you can definitely go on. Why Seagull? Why are you playing support? You can definitely go on Searcher as Anubis, but it's tough. I think it's a bit of a 60-40 matchup for Searcher into Anubis. Because he has a very, very long wind-up ultimate as well, so Anubis ult is pretty good against Searcher as well. But anyway, that's the main thing. A lot of mages are just not good in solo right now. Warriors are too good, as well as Guardians are too good at just killing squishies right now. It's only amplified if you also have thorns. Then you're not gonna close that wave at all, unless you're something like Raijin, who can easily jump away. So. Are you building Cursewear as a true support? You definitely can. I don't think everyone's doing it from what I've seen, but you can. Like, the big trade-off is that you're going to be a lot more squishy. So I think it also depends on which comp you're against. If you're against an Anubis, I don't think you should. Because he's not going to give a single fuck if you're healing an extra 200. He's going to kill you anyway. And out-heal whatever you did to him. Anubis is just really good right now, overall. It's kind of powerful. And what the fuck is that, man? Alright, I'm doing it. I want to play around. All my tryhard picks aren't working today. So I'm doing raw. I'm still pretty bad at Bake, I would say. But surprisingly, Raijin was kind of hard to deal with. Bake, I think, struggles against something where he can't just dash them. Which is why he's pretty good against some melees. Because he will literally just dash your face and clear the wave at the same time. And now you're just kind of stuck there where you were stunned. You couldn't clear the wave. And it's just, yeah, it's an awkward spot where he just dominates in that sense. But against Raijin will just poke the wave. I can't dash him. He's just gonna poke me at the same time as well. I think that's another thing. Raijin can poke you and clear the wave at the same time with his 2. So if you don't have sustain, might also struggle. But if you're someone like Chalk, you're not gonna have any issues. What is their comp as well? Afro support, I guess. Yeah, actually that makes sense. Yeah, Lance jungle, Afro support, Agni mid, Yorm solo, and not ADC. Okay. Is gonna be a Rika though? On that Afro? Yikes. Also, Ymir is really good into their comp. Wall is great here. Also, Benji, can you check? Just so I know that it does work for other people as well. Check if the Song of Fire stuff works now. I checked for me, like it works when I did it earlier. And I imagine it still works since you tried yesterday, but...
They entrusted me with the awesome power of this mech suit, and I don't plan on disappointing.
Please.
Okay.
What am I building, actually?
Let's get this suit juiced up. Yes, please. Yes, please.
We have 2 people AFK.
Yes, please. That's too bad. Okay. That's kind of bad, isn't it?
Dude. We have 2 people AFK, so we can't even press. They're back. It's fine. Dude, one of like they both just went AFK.
Okay.
Can you handle this?
Okay.
I'm gonna do this. Get through lane super safe.
Energy field deployed.
Oh, it's Afro solo. Oh. Curious. This is... Dude, this takes me back. This is a solo lane matchup I haven't dealt with in 5 years or so. Maybe longer. Damn. I mean, I'm winning the matchup now. Against Yorm? Hell no. Against Afro, yeah. Rise the clear on that.
Energy field deployed.
Perhaps you deserve.
Can you handle this? Stay in or don't. Your choice. Energy field deployed. Of course, it couldn't match my might. Burn to a crisp. Stay in or don't. Your choice. Wow! You must have choker on the meat. Can you handle
But yeah, thank you for checking, Benji. It does help when you can just link.
energy field deployed? Burn to a crisp. Okay, stop. That's maybe a little salty in that sound. Stay in or don't. Your choice. Energy field deployed. Your left tower is under attack. I expected more of a fight.
Oh, cooldown being the first one to get is great for me as a raw solo. That is PogChamp. So the potion, good warlocks. Gonna be a little bit of a tanky round this one, I think. Probably need to as well. They have a pretty good all-in comp.
Ultimate is ready.
Burn to crest. Energy field deployed. Sorry. Sorry. Can you handle this? Stay in or dump? Your choice. Energy field deployed. An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Can you handle this?
Have hell to
Nice
pay.
and juicy.
I was looking for the cheeky one over the wall, but that works.
Stay in or dump. Your choice. Burn to crest. Mamma mia, not again. Tower under attack.
I don't even need to back. I'll chill. Stick around.
Energy field deployed. Can you handle this?
Who's jungling in lands? Yeah, I hope he doesn't stop by. He's not gonna be easy for me to deal with.
Your left tower is under attack. Stay in or dump. Your choice. Enemy missing right. Cancel that. Wow, he must have choked on the meatball. Energy field deployed. Double key. Burn to a crest. That was salty and joke. Stay in. Your choice.
Damn.
Energy field deployed. Stay in or dump. Enemy ultimate down. Sustaining critical damage.
Ultimate is ready.
Stay in or dump. Your choice. An enemy has been slain. Let's get this suit juiced up.
It's my base, but I'm glad I was able to juke his ult.
Enemy missing right. He must have choked on the meatball. Energy field deployed. Stay in or don't. Your choice. Got my eyes on all of you.
An enemy has been
Can you
slain.
handle this?
On my way. Ultimate is down, instincts.
Energy field deployed.
He must have choked on that bomb.
Stay in or don't.
Sad. Damn. Missed my beam.
Stay in or don't. Your choice. Can you handle this? Energy field deployed. More power, more problems. For them.
Retreat. Ultimate is down.
Survive, Seagull. Survive. He's surviving for a while.
Again.
Enemy missing right.
Retreat.
Okay, so maybe a little. Your left tower is under attack.
They are not going for Bull Demon so far.
Stay in or don't. On my way.
Your middle tower is under attack. Mwah! Compliments to the chair. Ciao! Don't come back again!
Energy field deployed.
Buff secured.
Stay in or don't. Your choice.
Is that their jungler? Wait a minute. No, it's not. Why does he have speed buff? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's just the skin.
Energy field deployed.
That skin kind of made it look like he had speed buff.
Stay in or don't. Your choice.
Face me!
Help.
Time to ride, old friend.
Enemy ultimate down. Stay in or don't. Your choice.
Unfortunate.
Be careful.
I'll see if I can hold out until my snipe was back up, but
Burn.
with Ephra around, that doesn't really matter.
Energy field deployed.
Ally has been slain.
Bothersome.
Your left tower is under attack.
Enemy missing right. Stay in or don't. Your choice.
You think you can just pass away like that?
Can you handle this?
Is Seagull trolling? I'm not sure.
Mamma mia, not again! Your left tower
Energy field deployed.
Uh-oh.
Tower has been destroyed. Behind us. Your middle tower is under attack.
Can you handle that?
Oh, is that who it is? Actually, who is I don't think I recognize the Machikora's name. La Caca? La Caca? I have no idea who it is.
Ultimate is down.
I don't think Seagull is trolling though. I don't see Seagulls every game, but I trust Seagull not to troll my games at least.
Okay, now that's a spicy meatball.
Energy field deployed.
Okay, well that's kind of troll. Dude,
Orbital scout deployed.
that's... Seagull! Stop! Man, what the fuck?
Stay in or done. Your choice.
If Seagull loses me this game, I'm gonna be sad. Because in terms of this solo lane matchup, Ryze great and all, but Afro is much better as a supporting character.
Mamma mia, not again.
I missed. Dude, why was Kappa running away? Why would he run away from that? Maybe Nil doesn't really understand how her ult works. But she always lands in the spot she used to. All the staffs? Yeah, not exactly. Not this game. Maybe the next one. But don't count on it.
Energy field deployed. Do you see pockets on this thing?
Those two are just together now. Hear the healing he's getting off of his 3? It's kinda nuts.
Enemy spotted.
Energy field deployed.
I don't have my 2 yet.
My eyes on
Oof. A little close for comfort. No, I'm so close to buying this. Are they actually turning to gold? Yeah, do gold, guys. I need this fucking thing. There we go. I got the tower instead, or the stitch. The beacon gave me enough. This build isn't really good anymore. I would much rather run a one-shot raw build right now. But I might slowly just swap up my items just for that. Oh, is he dying to the Phoenix? Okay. Dude, what's happening? Maybe he thought everyone was chasing him and run into die? I have no idea. Oh. That did not last long enough to be useful. So I just kind of missed.
Attack fire giants. I'll gank middle lane. Stay in or die. Your choice. Match my might. Try not to get stay in or die. What is your choice?
I don't have a whole lot of pen with this build. I think I'll do this. I'll get my... Maybe I should just actually go into Obsidian Shard.
Okay.
No, I'll do Rod for now. I don't think we need me with pen anyway. We have other people with pen. We're good. No worries.
Fire giants. You will be silent before your king. Energy field deployed. Okay, help, help. Attack.
Missed. Stray beam. I don't want to back yet. I need a little bit of gold. Where was Nut this whole time? Like that fight could have been really bad if Nut was around, because we kind of screwed up. Seagull was taking a whole lot of poke from fire.
Let's get this suit juice.
Are you enjoying Smite today? It's pretty. Yeah, actually, I am. I've been playing like shit today. I will say that. It's not been the greatest day of my Smite career, but I have only won today, so not too shabby. I'll take the wins, but I've had some kind of rough games. Not all of them were bad, but I've definitely played a bit strange today. I'm being very unnecessarily aggressive.
Stay in or don't. Your choice.
Yes! She did! Get me out!
Stay in or don't. Your choice. Energy field deployed.
Oh.
Can you handle that?
I'm building stacks.
Stay in or don't. Your choice.
Ally has been slain. Not again. Double kill.
Try not to get eaten alive. See you another time. Your choice.
This game is alright. I think the only reason why this Rock game is going well though is because I wasn't against Frontline. I've been against Aphrodite this game, and in that matchup, Ra is quite alright. It's such an old school matchup. Ra, Shunkwei, Aphrodite, just such OG solo winners. Before Warriors just came in and overtook everything in existence.
Attack left lane.
I'm on it.
Yeah, Kronos and Joki, low-key. That is true.
Energy field deployed. Stay in. Your choice. Energy field deployed. Can you handle that?
Damn it.
Stay in or dump. Your choice.
Ally has been slain.
Man, we need to just get out. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, it was a bad idea having Kabrakan tank, because he's full mage. Kabrakan tank and Fire Giant just resulted in him just dying.
Humbly, that's deicide.
I'm selling Curse Weaver instead of the other one. Let's grab Obsidian just for the few tanks. Aphro's tanky as well, yeah. Not too tanky, but Yorm is in front of me a lot, and I just don't damage him at all. I also built the wrong thing. I just realized, no, I should go for Archmage. I am stupid. I'm way too used to building the other one.
Stay in or dump. Your choice.
Sad.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Burn.
Defend.
What's the health on it?
Enemy has been
Energy
slain.
field deploy. Stay in or dump. Energy field deploy.
For the main cause.
A bit of an awkward ending to this, but I had a tough time going in. We lacked vision in that last fight, because I could, without vision, I can't pre-snipe someone. I don't want to just take a shot in the dark when we have like an ish location of them. So having vision when you have a sniper is so valuable. I just couldn't really find anyone. Actually, no, it's not entirely true. I did hit Lance, but Lance just hops on his fucking horse and gets all his HP back, basically. Didn't actually do that much damage. Alright, what time is it? Am I doing one last? Am I gonna risk it for the biscuit? One more? Fine. I'll do one more, but that is it. Don't ask, do it. I'll do absolutely only one more, because I still want to do the same plan as I did yesterday. I'll do Smite for about 3 hours. Go do all my stuff. I need to shower, I need to walk the dog, I need to get some dinner as well. I'll be back for Wukong then. I'll really need to try and see if I can beat Wukong before Smite 2. Otherwise I'm gonna get way too overwhelmed. I also need to turn on some light. I don't realize how dark it actually is. It's a W schedule. I like it. It gives me joy. And I'm having so much fun with both Smite and Wukong at the moment. And I'm also one of those nerds that still kind of play World of Warcraft, so there's also a new expansion for that I play a bit in my off time. When I just want to get the chance, really. But I'm in no rush for that. There is just a lot of stuff coming out right now. Who is Warlord of Kittens? Why are there so many names recently I just don't recognize at all? This seems like kind of a nice team, though. We have a good team here.
Select your god.
Whoa,
Your god.
the big borders on these guys. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling it. I think I'm gonna do it. I'll be speedy. I think it's a good speedy time against their comp. They're gonna be fast. I don't want to get run down by anything. I'll outrun them. My ticker is kind of cringe though. Oh no. Don't tell me. Dude. A warrior. I can't escape from these warriors, man. I'm gonna deal with a warrior as Chronos now? In duo? Tragic. Absolutely tragic. Merc on Cocolan. I'm guessing it's gonna be a Cocolan support then. I'm kind of glad I'm not playing solo this game, because I hate dealing with... Like, yours is really good on that Arthur, and I don't like dealing with it. A good Arthur is still such a pain to deal with. He's no fun.
Finals on the line. Time for a wonder. Grab your gotta keep things. It's Chronos Hunter.
Yeah, I'm gonna need Doom Warp just because of everything they have there. Gotta be speedy. I am not feeling a bit of reason to go beats though, I'm not gonna lie. Except for Arthur's, like, fully charged ult, I guess. There's also the Janus portal, I suppose. Cocoon's knock up. Excuse me. Yeah, that actually is a pretty decent amount of reason to go beats. Starting with Aegis might be more clutch though. It also really depends on who I'm actually against. I think it's Cocoon, meaning I'm gonna get beats just for the knockup. And the root, I guess, actually. I am an immobile motherfucker.
Curse you right back.
What's up? Don't joke.
Good luck.
Perfect timing.
Enemy spotted. Enemy middle lane.
Man! If just I got my one up, that would've been great. They took a lot. We actually won this trade. I'm trying too hard to hit the Mantikaras here.
Enemy missing middle. Be careful left.
Kinda waste too much mana here.
Spotted. Enemy missing middle. Be careful left.
Enemies in left lane.
Well, that's no good.
We survived. All good.
Enemy missing middle.
Your middle tower's under attack.
Check out this boomstick.
Combo should have gotten there instead of the wave. That's so unfortunate. Okay. It kind of it's giving me flashbacks of yesterday when my opponent's support picked Amaterasu and just camped the shit out of our buffs, and we never got a fucking buff.
Enemy missing left. Be right back. Now that's what
I don't even want to buy wards. Not after losing out both our buffs here. We're gonna be really far behind in duo now. Don't even want to clear.
Enemy missing middle.
Enemy missing left.
Enemy missing middle.
Yeah, Killin is just getting so much farm. He can clear it too easily.
Enemy spotted.
An ally has been slain.
Perfect timing.
Unfortunate.
Missing middle.
An enemy has been slain.
Save yourself.
Enemy missing left. Gotta keep things spicy.
I'll grab a quick ward here as well.
Enemy missing.
Now it's fine. But I really need to just finish my item first.
Ultimate is ready.
Perfect timing.
Completed. Enemy missing.
The good part about a Killin support is that if he falls behind, he's not gonna do anything. Like the rage form has decent CC, but like it's not really anything to be that scared of. The really scary thing about Killin is how much damage he can do when coming out of solo.
Now that's what I call a power spike.
I still don't actually know if my Chronos build is particularly good, but I know it works. That's good enough for me,
Help right lane.
I suppose.
Follow.
Mamma mia, not again!
Enemy missing middle. Enemy spotted.
An enemy has been slain.
Enemy missing left. There's bots all around us. Perfect timing.
Enemy spotted.
He must have choked on the We can turn this! Rewind! Now!
Well, that's no good.
Okay. I didn't think he was gonna be in left. It's the only reason why I was so aggressive.
Time to ride, old friend.
Because I can easily, very, very easily deal with my Chris if I land my stun. Like, he actually just takes so much damage from it. So I want to fight him. But if Killin is gonna be around, this is just gonna be annoying as hell.
Your middle tower is under attack.
Enemy missing.
Hopefully we can ward more. But right now it's not looking too great.
Perfect timing.
An enemy has been slain.
Gank.
Check out this boomstick.
Yeah, they got Bull Demon as well, dude. There's even no fucking point in warding.
Completed. Ultimate is ready.
Why even ward when the Bull Demon exists, man?
I'm a race car.
Wow! He must have choked on the meatball.
Blow up. Down.
Wow! Compliments to the chef.
You rock.
Double kill.
Rock.
Under attack.
You deserve a beer.
On my way.
You know, W mindset? Or with the warding? Or you mean the Bull Demon thing?
Like see. I'm a race car.
It's weird. I hate the Bull Demon. I'm a certified hater of the Bull Demon. Like, why would you put this in, man? It's such a snowball-y thing. There's literally no point in warding when the Bull Demon exists. It's like, don't ward pre-15 minutes. You're just gonna lose gold. Don't do it. I'm gonna place my ward here, though.
Map awareness is
Enemy
alarming.
missing middle. Help right lane.
Follow me.
I'm a race car.
You think you're gonna just pass away like that?
Down.
An enemy has been slain.
I'll gank.
Perfect timing.
He must have choked on the meatball.
Okay.
Check out this boomstick.
What just did so much damage to me? What? What fucked me up so much? I'm so confused. I was full HP. What did so much damage to me? I'm actually kind of flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted about that. I did screw up. I was being a little over-aggressive because I knew I could, but apparently I couldn't. Because my ticker is fucking one-shot you, even though he doesn't do anything. It's crazy. Like, legitimately. It's hard to say here, because like, a lot of it was just poke, but...
Perfect timing.
No! Don't come back again!
Check out this boomstick. Missing left.
Whoops.
On the meat.
It's over.
Damn it. Oh, I still hit him.
Enemy missing middle.
Check out this boomstick.
Nice.
Save yourself.
Enemy spotted.
An ally has been slain.
Perfect timing.
Ultimate is ready.
We can
I'll
turn
attack
this!
Help.
Kumba was near when he was around, now Kumba isn't right.
on my way.
I tried to fight him anyway, though. Was kind of stupid. I ran out of mana. I'm forcing some dumb fights right now. I'm just bored, because nothing is happening in duo lane.
Your left tower has been destroyed.
Hey, Bengus. Good to see you, man. I'll take it. I should help having some lifesteal now.
Cancel that. Be right back. Help left lane. Group up.
Yes, I made it work yesterday. In the Wukong stream, as I said I would. I still don't know what was wrong. Yeah, like, the restart might have helped. It might have just been that. But I also tried to, like, reconnect my account to Twitch. Or, like, to Songify through Twitch. So it could have been a few different things. I just did all of the things that I could think of, and next time it worked, so. Oh yeah, it also had an update, for some reason. When I closed the program and reopened it, it had an update, even though I checked if it had an update inside the program itself, so. What can you do? It's always something.
Perfect timing.
Help middle lane.
Mamma mia, not again! An enemy has been slain. Mwah! Compliments to the chef.
I'm a race car.
No problems at all.
Well, this is a song I recognize, but I don't actually want to hear it. It's not because I don't like it, but because I plan on eventually playing Alan Wake, and I want to see it in the game.
Board here.
Oh, you requested it? My bad then. We can definitely hear it if you want it, but just in case, like, because I mean I've seen the Game Awards nomination stuff of it. I don't have my ult up yet. I didn't realize going in I didn't have ult yet.
Ultimate is down.
How is there 4 people here?
I'm dying.
Enemy spotted. Yeah, boy.
Have fun.
How is there 4 people here? What is everyone else doing? What the fuck, man? We didn't do anything. What happened? Not even an objective? Oh, you already heard before sending it here? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like I know the full song. Like I saw the performance at the Game Awards, but I don't know the context. I know there is context to the songs in Alan Wake. Like I know a few things here and there, but I'll eventually either play it or watch like a streamer like play it or something like that. And I want to see it through that, because I feel like I'm just gonna overthink it if I listen to the actual lyrics. How is my word still the only one on the map? My ult just then wasn't up in time again. I'm done walking around without my ult up. Dude, damn, the Medusa damage.
I've been bested.
Also, a friendly reminder, I do have the punishment for dumb deaths, in case anyone wants to do that. Because I feel like I've had a few this game, to be honest.
I'll defend. No problem.
No problems at all.
Oh, well that's incredibly lucky.
Enemy spotted.
Damn it. I'm tired of dying. What is he called again? Set beats. I thought he beats before. guess it didn't. I thought we could turn on him though. I don't know why we didn't. I'm not gonna lie. We should have just turned on Zed when he beats. Like I ulted even after that, but he just chases me down. He is actually faster than me. Kronos is not fast enough, man. Above Kronos' base movement speed. Dumping 25k. That'll be a lot of squats for me.
Your team has destroyed a right enemy tower.
Damn, I also haven't heard this song in a long ass time.
Gotta keep things spicy. I'm a race car.
You won't be seeing me again.
I'm a race car.
Me, not again.
The lack of map awareness is alarming.
I'll just ult for that.
Could I get a glass of milk?
Rip worlds. Okay.
Dio mio, this dish is overcooked.
I will war. Have fun.
Thanks.
I did kind of throw up my stun like an idiot there.
Enemy missing.
I can box him if I have my stun, assuming it also actually lands. I believe the second round of damage is like goes away if you beats it, right?
Help, right lane.
So that's also a bit unfortunate. It just ran past him.
An enemy has been slain.
With ult, I'm confident enough going into set.
Perfect timing.
An enemy has been slain.
There's bots all around us.
Joker on the meatball. That was a
Do they just wipe them? At least let me get the assist for this one, right? Alright.
Attack fire gun.
Mwah!
Attack the tiger.
Shut down.
not fast enough. No, the red buff. I kind of would have taken that if I could. If I could, actually.
Push you right back.
Probably have a ward here.
On my way. Yes.
I'm on it.
Ow.
Attack the left phoenix.
Enemy missing.
Damn, where the hell did he go? That is crazy.
Cancel.
He actually just
Enemies have
somehow ended up hiding from both of us.
Have fun.
Sorry. On my way.
Ultimate is down.
Let's ride this hype train all the way to Ritz.
Attack the Titan.
Blow them down. Get down, sis. Boom. There. Perfect timing.
Where did Giannis go? Giannis is alive. He just dipped. He could definitely one-shot me with his 2 with half HP, so I was looking for him. I was ready to ult just to get the immunity frames. Paul just hurts? Yeah, it does. Wasn't actually that massive, because I didn't have a full build yet. Like, on Arthur, it was only like 288. 188. But yeah, a bit of a rough Chronos game. I was playing it kind of stupid. I was being over-aggressive because I got bored, and when I got bored and decided to be over-aggressive, someone else showed up and I ended up dying. Overall, it still went fine. I don't think it was a bad Chronos game, necessarily. Like, I played it alright, I just played stupid and aggressive. Alright. That was the last one. All wins today. I have risen all the way back for my 2400 to late 2700s again. So this was the redemption stream in a sense. Even though like, how's it look on the history? It looks all right actually. Xinjiang game was great. That was actually a really good game, but yeah. Whale was rough. Ra was good. Chronos was rough. Honor was very rough. This was the shittiest one of them all, right here. The Honor game was absolute dog shit. But a win streak has hit me, blessed me today. But with that, I really fucking appreciate you guys stopping by as usual. And I'll be back later for some Wukong, but I need to do some chore stuff and walk the dog, get some food, all that stuff. So if you're interested in that, that'll be great. If not, no problem. I understand. So thank you guys, and bye.